I don't like to live alone in a place. I like always somebody together.
I have my little office, people working with me, and I live it every single day, so I am content.
I write fiction in Malayalam and poetry in English.
I'm hailing from an interior village of North Malabar, Malabar was at that time the part of Madras state.
Bangalore culture is changing more. In a way, it's good because I get to do a lot of work with the IT companies and there's personal growth. But I guess it's a little unplanned city to have so many people here all of a sudden. Bombay used to be like this. Just no time for anyone. You don't have time for people. You're just chasing, running all the time. I'm 26 right now. I started my own company 3 years back called Proton Events. Best place in Bangalore is Zero G. And I have been here ever since the planning of Zero G. They are my clients. I've been involved with them, I've been working with them, and this is probably a second home. Though it's a nightclub, all my friends jam up here and I guess it's the best place. There's an independent dance floor, so you have everything here.
In 1961 or 62, I won an Asian Poetry Prize. Then, of course, after that, many awards came. I was called to universities outside the country to recite my poetry. I have been writing for years, several books, novels, mainly in Malayalam, because I'm a bilingual writer. I want an audience right here, not only outside the country. I suppose I learned to write because I was in some sense imitating my mother. I don't recollect seeing my mother engaged in any other activity. It was always writing.
ഞാൻ കഴിഞ്ഞ ദിവസം നോക്കുമ്പോൾ അതിനകത്ത് ഒറ്റ ഈച്ചയില്ല. തുറന്നില്ല. My house is in that place, name is Kallunguri. We have good relations with the neighbors, very good relations. So we know each other and we are living together very happy, no problems. Everybody is ready to help each other. We are in the middle part of Kerala. Most of the people are farmers and we are agriculturing in rubber and we are getting income from the rubber trees. The good time is to take the milk in the early morning. After we are collecting the milk, we will putting in a dish with the milk and water, and we will putting inside acid also. That is the processing.
I'm actually from an interior village of North Malabar. My father was a municipal school teacher. My grandfather, that is on mother's side, he was a teacher. There is a tradition in the family. My father used to draw. I was encouraged by my parents, my cousins, all these people, you know. So I used to do my own portrait. I became a working artist, first of all by training.
Poetry could not feed the family. My husband held a government job. It was not enough. We were all struggling middle class. After 11 o'clock, when everybody was asleep, I would sit at my typewriter and type till morning. Columns. I became a good columnist, popular columnist. You know, so mornings they will come, send somebody from the newspaper office at 10 to carry it off. But then sometimes I would feel some self-pity. I said, is this what my life was going to be? You know, like a coolie. And then I thought, this is all wrong. This is not what I want to make out of my life.
And this is in Paris. And this is another painter, Ramanujan.
Telugu fellow, I think this is.
No, they could be Madras. We had 3 children, you know, 3 girl children. During 68, I lost the middle girl, you know. Meningitis attack and lost. And it was a great tragedy in my life, in my wife's life.
Any trace of our house here in this picture? Book?
No, my works are there. Her name was Sulekha. That mark is there.
My wife's name is Mary. One day I met her on the road. After that I asked, I talked with her. Yes, I like to marry you. So she told me, okay, I don't have no problem, but you want to ask my father and mother. The next day morning, I direct go to my wife's house And I talked with her father and mother. So I told her, I like to marry your daughter. So they told they don't have no problem. Only some people are deciding which girl I like. Normally our father is settling the marriage.
I was married off at 15 to somebody much older. He became my guardian, maybe a kinder father. My first father was an angry father and I was scared of him. But I was safe in the sense I didn't have to do much except write. He was proud of me, proud of my reputation. After 3.5 years of illness, he died. Then my third son had been posted in Cochin, so I came and lived in the same building with him. And then he left. He was promoted, sent up to Pune. So you see, for the first time in my life, I felt really and truly helpless. I was competent to write poetry, competent to climb the stage and talk about feminism, but not competent enough to go up to a bank, cash a check, ask them how much is in the bank, all these things, you know.
I organize corporate and commercial events, conferences, parties for various companies. I love what I'm doing, and that reflects on the work that we do. We were about 26 people who were working from my office. Right from putting up a superstructure to accommodate so many people, furnitures, general lighting, stage, sound, light.
Did Mr. Arun from Bosch give you a call? Yeah. Okay. Did you get the furniture that were dropped off in your office? All right. Correct.
Then we decided to migrate to Kerala. There was an offer here to run an art institute. My wife was working there, a staff nurse in hospital. I asked her to resign the job. She was not willing. When I insisted, she was asking me, "You are not having a permanent job. Then how will we carry on?" Then I promised her, with this hand, I'll be able to earn 2 meals a day. And of course, I fulfilled that.
In my house, my father, my mother, and my brother, and my brother, wife, my wife, and 2 children. We are living all together. My brother name is Cherian, and my brother wife name is Shanti. My first child, Vivin, have now 12 years, and the second one, Kevin, is now 5.5. So I am looking for them give a good education, maybe out of Kerala, anywhere, no problem, but I am looking a good education for them.
Elder girl, she finished her teacher's training and she is a very good English teacher now. And the younger girl, her own house designed by her. And some of my clients, when they come, I ask her to design for me and she does it. My family was actually run by my wife, My house was governed by her. I was just making some money and just handed over to her. So, if you are feeling that my family is happy and nice, the credit goes to my wife. She was the manager.
I think I write like a woman. If that's a kind of weakness, well, I own up to it. I'm always writing a book. Now, of course, I'm engaged in writing a novel. I'm going to stress upon the fact that a woman should not deny her sexuality. Sexuality is energy. It's like electricity, which the body produces. So if you inhibit that, if you block it, you're certainly going to be a failure in life. In India, there has been two influences inhibiting. It was Mahatma Gandhi, our leader, who preached Gandhism, and he preached abstinence. He regarded sex as something sinful. The Christians came and told us that lovemaking is a sin, and that has influenced the minds of almost 3 or 4 generations.
Kerala have Hindu people and Muslim people and Christian people. Christian people believing in God, in Jesus Christ, and Hindu people going other way, and the Muslim people going other way. So, but we don't have no religion problems in Kerala. I am believing in Jesus Christ. What my father and mother teach me when I born, they take me in the church and they give me baptism, and I am getting the spiritual from the God.
Religious background, in a way, it is Hinduism. And from my parents, I studied so many limited things. But at the same time, they advised me that ultimately, kindness, helping others, that is the greatest value in life. So, religion as a sectarian thing, it has no relevance in my life. I never go to temples. I never worship any deity. So the same thing is actually imparted to my children. So we can't say whether we are Hindus or Christians, because my elder girl, she's married to a Christian boy. So finally, What I understand as religion is a sort of human value concept.
All the stories in Hindu religion are really beautiful, extremely beautiful. And when you are a child and your grandmother tells you anything, it makes you look like a fairy tale. And all those stories, it is to tell you, look, all these can happen, but you stand still and be connected.
A gentleman turned up who at that time certainly declared his love for me. He would phone at night, he would recite poetry. It's not difficult for me to fall in love with anyone who's that kind. He said, we can live together, I can marry you. Since he was a Muslim, I converted myself. It's not because I found this religion to be superior to other religions. It's just that I had to make a choice. I could not live alone. And then there were all these threats. The Hindus really felt that they would lose such a person to the Muslims. So naturally he was not courageous enough. He haunts me. I mean, the fact that there was a possibility of sharing life. So how can I think of something beautiful which he says is a dream anyway? Must have been a dream. So vivid.
Life is always a test. A little bit painful life, it is good for us. If you don't have no problems, your brain will lose. You don't want to think anything about your life. If always I am happy, I never think about God. If I have a lot of money, I don't have no sick, I don't have no problems, I don't want to think about the God. I never pray for God. So I am thinking little bit painful life is good. God is always examining the people. He never give 100% mark. It is only in the heaven He will giving the mark only. Till that time, He is always examining the people. But in the final, you will get the mark.
Correct. Correct. It's not the question of money.
Faith is realizing that you are not separate from God and God is not separate from you. The first temple that I stepped into was a Shiva temple. and it was about some 3-4 years after my dad passed away. Shiva is the person that I can connect with, so much in love with him. So I fast every Mondays, and I go to a Shiva temple and break my fast in the nights.
Imam is like a vicar. So he said he can recite a prayer. എന്നെ കൊണ്ടിട്ടൊരു അമൃതാനന്ദ വഴിയൊക്കെ കാട്ടി മര്യാദാക്കി പാവ സ്നേഹകാരനല്ലേ. I never told them it's because Islam is the most beautiful religion. It is a beautiful religion, as all religions are. Is there some religion which is not beautiful, which is not meant to correct? They're all the same, really and truly the same. I don't ferret out basic truths, the fundamental truth, because I believe in God, and such questions I leave at His feet. They're beyond my reach, beyond my comprehension. Why should we comprehend the designs of God? Just live according to the dictates of our conscience. That itself is such an enormous task.
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen Ar-Rahmanir Rahim
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen.
Whether you are a good painter or a good sculptor, one thing is, be a good human being. Be purposeful, useful to the society, a part of the society. And your presence should enrich the society.
There is one thing I can tell you, the earth before is different. The sea is coming up, some part is going inside the sea. Earth is day by day is changing.
When you hear of an earthquake, you hear of a tsunami, it's because we are abusing Earth. We're not taking care of what we've got. We're not trying to preserve. So nature is going to react. It has no other way to give you a warning and say, look, don't treat me this way.
I'm not a scientist at all. I cannot fathom the reasons for such a disaster. But I don't think God has anything to do with such disasters. Most afflicted were the very poor. Why would God want to punish the very poor?
When tsunami happens, there were so many people who went to the aid there. Everyone. They forgot that, okay, I'm from Karnataka and you're in Tamil Nadu. That boundary was broken. We landed up there as human beings and said, whatever we can do for you, we will do.
When a flood or a cyclone or this tsunami happens, there our human beings, evil contributions are there. In a difficult situation, we should oblige to other beings, try to help others. All religion. But unfortunately, the human mind is controlled by Satan. That a bad element comes, At times it takes shape of a Hitler or a Mussolini or a Bush.
These problems is coming from the religions and the politics. Now the all countries have problems. You can see Iran, Iraq, all countries, everywhere. In India also.
I have been thinking of all these things, and they unsettle me because I feel the world is becoming uglier day by day. I was not happy with the American conquest of Iraq and the justification which they presented. We are looking for lethal weapons. I don't think any country has the right to do that.
I don't know 500 years from now if the way we're treating, the way we're living, I don't know if we're still going to have a place called Earth. You have to preserve what you have and enjoy it. You're cutting down trees to make your home bigger and bigger, bigger. There's going to be no trees, there's going to be no oxygen one day, there's going to be no water.
We are thinking all the world people will die and the God will come the second time and He will call all the people again. So if you done good in the life, you will have a peaceful life after your death.
I can't say whether I'll be incarnate as a human being or as an insect. Can't be sure. But perhaps the universe will go on. It is a continuum. We think in terms of our limited knowledge. So we can't predict all these things. But humanity will achieve the paradise. Spring will be there. Our grandchildren will be enjoying life. So that's what I feel and I believe.
See, worlds become confusing, I think, because we've forgotten our roots. We've forgotten what we are here for. You're confused when you're trying to manipulate. When you're chasing something, you're competing with people. Then you get confused because you know your heart is telling you that's not true, but your mind's telling you something else. You have to be a finer person to understand that this is Maya. It's not the truth. You end up living a life to earn a lot of money, fame, name, and one day it's gone, and then you fall apart. The best thing to do is to belong to people, to your faith. Those are things that will never ever leave you and go. What is true is what is in your hearts, what you feel, what you can do to people without expecting anything in back. There is no confusion then. Every little thing that I know, every little thing that I do is come from my mom and my dad. But mom's been with me longer than dad, so I really wouldn't want to go out of home and live alone and call it independence. I can be doing business, I can be doing anything outside, but when I get back home, I'm her little daughter.
I always wanted to belong. I wanted to belong to my parents. They didn't have time for me. Then this gentleman turned up, friend, and I felt I really belonged to him because he spoke so beautifully. I can't forget. Finally, I realized that religions are not important for me. It's just this communication with God, which takes place when I am alone in my bedroom. And that's why I think I don't have to go anywhere to pray. As I get older, I am stronger. That I have noticed. My body is weak, but I have become very strong. Stop that, stop this.
But most of the operations are near the main road.
But now I know that home is also just a concept. There is nothing physical about it. What is home? Home is where there is somebody to say, you belong to me, I'm here. Home is where someone waits for you. Nothing can wait for me except God. As soon as I converted myself to Islam, I used to believe in paradise, entering paradise. But now I think that's very childish. I think if there is a paradise, it's right here, in friendships, in love, in contact with other human beings.